What's going on, guys? This is Ani Imana on the Field of 68 Next Gen podcast with my co-host, Mashu Nega. Shu,
What's good?
we told everybody this is going to be a weekly pod. I know this is only the second week, but I'm excited.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
got a lot to uncover and talk about. And just for you guys that are tuning in and listening, this is a collaboration between Field of 68 and Athlete.ai. This pod, we're going to talk about recruiting. We're going to talk about standouts. We travel all across the country watching high school players. I actually just got done watching some middle school basketball. Promising 2029 class, by the way, but we're not going to talk about that here.
Yeah.
But we do a lot of recruitment talk, talent talk, evaluations. Make sure you download the Athlete.ai app. I'm telling you, there's a lot of great stuff coming with that app. So, Shu, how you feeling, man?
I'm good, brother. I'm good, man. Glad to be here. Glad for episode two. Uh, we're just figuring it out as we go, talking hoops like we always do, whether it's recorded or not recorded. We just happen to record now, so I'm good to go, brother. Let's make it happen.
All right, perfect. What we're going to talk about for the most part on this episode is Kentucky's 2026 recruiting class. We got to talk to a few of the assistant coaches, and we had a feel for who they're targeting. But they shout out to the staff at Kentucky for kind of giving us a little broader look at a look at who they're recruiting, and it's a lot of names. There's a lot of names they're interested in. It's still early as June. There's going to be more evaluation periods between June and July for them to kind of get a feel for who they want. Kentucky's one of those schools that they can just, they may not get every player they want, but they can be selective on who they want and how it fits Coach Mark Pope's system. So, Shu, we're gonna have you started off. I started off last episode. It's yours now.
Okay, okay. So I'm gonna start off with I guess what they say in Kentucky. It's just different. So shout out to the staff again. Um, for Kentucky and the 26th class, obviously every team's always looking for the right fit, right? That fits into their scheme, their coaching style of play, all that. And so doing a little bit of dive, didn't go deep dive, but doing a little bit of dive into Kentucky. Obviously, their offense, they play with a lot of pace. I think they were top 10 in the nation this past year in pace, which means they get the ball up and down the floor. They got additional possessions that they have to utilize for their offense. They share the ball really well. I think they're top 15 in assists as well. And within their schematics of how they play, it's more of a spread offense, right? Where guys are on the perimeter and there's a lot of movement. And so if that's the case of what your offense and how you play is, then you got to have bigs that are versatile and bigs that are mobile, that can do different things and be able to move as well and get up and down the floor. And so I think top of the list of 26 class is kind of a no-brainer in Tyron Stokes. Tyron Stokes is all of that. He's a 6'8" combo forward, has the ability to play make with the ball in his hands. Extremely athletic, strong, great nose for the ball, competitor. And so those are all check marks you like to have on your team, obviously. But within what they do, he'll have the ability to probably play on ball a little bit. Probably not be the primary playmaker, but have the ability to create, have the ability to initiate offense, and to get into plays and show his playmaking ability. Especially with the fact that again his height and his passing skills and his aptitude to share the ball. Um, he'll be a power or a point forward, I should say, for them. And so with an improved handle, uh, he doesn't shoot a lot of volume from three, and I think that's something that can get repped out and improved. But um, that's something that he can add to his game when he gets there, or actually, just sharpen when he gets there. And so a skilled passer as well. And so I think that's a perfect place for him as far as being able to fit. And there's a lot of places that he can fit as well, but it fits his game. They do. And so another big, another versatile
Whoa,
big
whoa,
upside
whoa, whoa.
here.
Before we get to the next one,
Who you got?
no. We're gonna stay on Tyron. This is our second week in a row talking about Tyron, but
Nice.
obviously for people that didn't check out the first episode, it was like a Louisville, Kentucky. That's who he decided from. I did feel like it was probably going to be Louisville. I think they're in the
Mhm.
lead right now, but things change in recruitment. and we don't know his timeline. He may wait a little bit later just to see how the dust settles and what makes
Yep.
sense.
Yep.
Also with Tyron, I'm hearing that he's going to plan a visit to Kentucky at some point. I think
Yep.
it'll be
Yep.
official, obviously. So excited to see where that goes and see, who actually lands him at the end. Obviously, this is no one player in 226. So yeah, I just kind of want to share that before you get to the next one. You be in
My
deep
bad.
evaluation mode. I gotta
My
cut you off.
bad. No, you good. You're adding the extra spice to the food, so I appreciate that, brother. Uh,
Oh,
Christian Collins, moving down. Christian Collins, another top three, top five kid in the class. Extremely versatile, long, lanky, a lot of upside here, especially on the offensive end. I think what he brings immediately for Kentucky, if he was to go there, is a versatile defender, somebody that can be all over the floor, you know, probably play 1 through 5 or be able to switch 1 through 5 defensively. Um, Covers a lot of ground with his mobility and his strides and his length, and so be able to rim protect. He's got a lot of versatility on that end that I think can help them, especially in that space that they need. They'll probably be a lot better at it this year, but defensively is a space for him. On the offensive side for him, um, I think it's a work in progress. I think it's a budding skill set as far as being able to play from the perimeter inward. Right now, especially the last few times that I got to see him, he kind of played inside out. It looked a little uncomfortable, but I think if he gets to the right situation, he'll have the ability to grow his game from the perimeter, be able to take it off the bounce, be able to drive closeouts from the second side, third side when the ball gets swung. Probably play behind the defense from time to time in the dunker spot. But again, an ability to spread the floor and play in a place that can spread the floor is a space that he can fit, that Christian can fit. And so I probably got two more guys on this list that I think I'm going bigs.
yeah,
Again, I
because
talked about the
Kentucky is
offense.
recruiting, right? Because Kentucky is recruiting the top 10. Like a lot of those guys that are in the top 10 and 226.
Yes.
They're
Yes.
recruiting.
No, they are. They
They're
are.
recruiting. So yeah, Christian Collins, the next few guys he's talking about, I'm gonna kind of dive in on some of the guards. Like they are recruiting the top 10. Like there's interest with them in the top 10 of that class. So yeah, continue.
No, absolutely is. And another guy, another big, the 6'8" lefty floor spacer, Anthony Thompson. Um, Great shot maker, great skill offensively. He has the ability to stretch the floor for them, and which obviously is difficult to guard, and you'll have attempts to be able to get to the rim for the rest of your teammates. And so um, he has a little bit of versatility on his offensive side as well because he can take smaller guards into the paint and score on the block. And so he has that versatility on the offensive end and that skill set to play inside out and bring a lot of value to Pope's offense. And so he's a very intriguing prospect. Played in the Euro camp as well. Played well there. And so he's kind of a guy that's continuing to rise in his game and develop in his game. And when you watch him play, you understand why a lot of teams are after him. And so the last one for me, as far as bigs that they're recruiting, that I feel like can fit into their space and what they're doing is Mika Mirinen, 6'9" forward finish. Uh, from what I understand, he's not playing this summer, so he's gonna work on his body, work on his game, and then he'll pop out when it's time to pop out. And so he's a stretch four, another dynamic guy, extremely athletic, defensively. Again, I think he brings a lot of versatility there and athleticism, being able to switch comfortably from inside to outside. And he's shown a level of rim protection as well that I think that can be utilized there. And so, um, with his athleticism and his want to get out and run, the pace is another thing that Kentucky provides that could help him in his game or add to what he brings to the table as far as him being able to get out in transition, attack space, get to the rim, uh, a floor being open in a half court, ability again to drive closeouts and put pressure on the rim as well. And so uh, those are a lot of talented bigs, versatile bigs, and I think those are the type of bigs that fit there. Whether they get him or not, that's up to whoever. Uh, but I think those are the guys that fit, and I think can do well if they get to Kentucky.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the frontline prospects that, like you said, have outside in games, have good feel, have the potential to really grow. And Mark Pope, he does really
Hmm.
value shooting. It's and guys that can, really space the floor out. And those guys you talked about with Christian Collins, Tyron Stokes, Anthony Thompson, Mika
Hmm.
Miernan, like
Hmm.
those are guys that have capabilities to really stretch the floor and just create driving lanes for their guards, right?
Yep.
Now, when
Yep.
we talk about the guards, what they really do value, what they will need is some guys that can really defend out on the perimeter, right?
Yep.
So when you
Yep.
look
Yep.
at guys like Brandon McCoy, who hasn't played this spring, summer, dealing with injuries from what we were told, and he's someone that can really defend. He's probably the best defensive guard or best perimeter player in the class, arguably. And so that's someone they're targeting, they're looking at that he really provides that. Jordan Smith, same thing, who I said I feel like he's number two in this class, behind Tyron, just from how he's been playing in the spring so far. Someone that blows up screens. He's very strong. He has a next level body. Offensively, he can get downhill. He knows how to really find his teammates and dot them while he drives. And
Yep.
just defensively, he just can really disrupt the point of attack. He's very physical as a defender,
Yep.
and I
Yep.
think
Yep.
that's where it brings a lot of value. Now,
To add to your point, sorry, I'm gonna cut you off. And one
go
thing
ahead.
that I like about Jordan Smith is again, he's been able to improve his jump shot. I know that that's probably the piece that a lot of people haven't talked about or talk about as far as a knock on his game. But when you get a player who understands what they do well and they stick to that and probably sharpen it a little bit better, that shows a lot about who the player is, who George Smith is, how much he's been able to work on his game. Um, I think he's really good in the mid range. He doesn't take that many threes, but when he does, it goes in or it looks good. And so I don't say that's a space where I think that's a space where he can continue to grow and shine on the offensive end. And when he gets to the next level, collegiate level, uh, I think it'll grow and add to him. So my
I have a
bad. Continue.
question for you. I have a
Yeah.
question. How well does Brandon McCoy shoot it?
It's respectable. You can't. Brandon McCoy is a player where you just can't have dare shots. You know what I mean? It's not like you're leaving him open. It's not Ben Simmons. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like he's gonna be able to knock down some shots if you leave him open. And the part for him that I think that all players sometimes when they're not making shots, they kind of forget. Try to get downhill a little bit. Try to get to the rim. Try to get to the free throw line. And so when he finds his rhythm, he's on, right? And so you do that by doing those other things. And so sometimes when he can't find it, I would implore him. Don't know if he's listening. Hey man, get to the rim, get to the free throw line, find your rhythm. Every shooter has a bad time. Who can't get it off at that moment? I'd say that, but it's respectable. And again, I think it's something you can rep out. That's my
Right.
opinion.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a rep thing. It's like a little bit on the inconsistent side, capable. Like you said, you don't leave him wide open. And I think like Jordan Smith, the same thing. Like Jordan Smith's a really good mid-range shooter. And I think at the three-point line, still inconsistent. I would say McCoy's probably a better three-point shooter than Jordan right now, just
I
from
so.
seeing. But I think both can really grow in it. I think it's a rep thing, and I think
Agreed.
when they get to college and they just kind of get to the groove of it with it, they're gonna be just fine. I wanted to get your thoughts on McCoy shooting and just kind of where you think it translates
Yeah.
going forward. So no, I definitely agree with you on that. When you also talk about some other guards though, like Akena Olozie, right? Uh, plays for Utah prospects. He's just such a dog. Like he fits that prototype. Long arms, explosive. He can move laterally. He really utilizes his length to just deny passing lanes. To really guard, to recover. Right. He kind of has a little bit longer strides for someone at his size, and he can just recover well. He can alter shots. He just really can put pressure on the guard when he really wants to defend. So that's another one that I feel like makes a lot of sense for them. And there's, like I know Jason Crow may not really fit that, the top 10 player as far as like, I'm not saying he's a bad defender. It's just that, he's really known for being a bucket. Uh, Kentucky does value the ball being put in the
Yeah,
hole, and that's one thing
thanks.
Jason Crow definitely does. So he
Thanks.
doesn't really fit in maybe from a defensive standpoint. I think Crow is a fine defender. I don't think
Yeah.
he's not going to be anyone that's going to harm you on defense, especially when he's
Mhm.
like kind of locked in. And I've seen some engagement as a team defender and just communicating when he really wants to. So
Thanks.
yeah, like when you talk about Brandon McCoy, who's a really good defender, who's arguably the best perimeter defender in the class, Jordan Smith, who's very strong and can just it's hard to screen him because he's so physical. And then
Yeah.
Ken Alozi, who's athletic and really utilizes his length. There's a lot of value there that Kentucky's going to be looking for at the guard spot. So that's kind of really rounding out the top 10 to maybe a guy. Oh, well, we haven't talked about wings yet. I'm sorry. But from the guards and the posts, that kind of rounds out the top 10. So Shu, I really want to get your thoughts. Caleb Holt, we're going to talk about him a little bit more at Adidas
Yep.
Eurocamp and your
Yep.
thoughts, but how does he fit at Kentucky and kind of get some thoughts there?
I mean, I think Caleb Hope could fit anywhere, to be honest. Uh, you talk about first and foremost, at the end of the day, when you're playing basketball, you're playing to win. And Caleb's a winner. So does that mean, hey, I need 20 tonight? Okay, I think I can go get you 20, coach. It may be in different forms and fashions to get 20, but he'll get you 20. Do I need to lock up the best perimeter player as well? Okay, I'll go do that. We need 8 rebounds because our bigs are having a bang down here with these other posts, and we need somebody to come help rebound. I'll go get you 8 to 10 rebounds. And so, um, minimum mistake guy. It's what 6'4", 6'5", strong build, nimble feet, likes to play with pace. Um, really good getting downhill and navigating through bodies, getting to the rim, an improved jump shooter, um, especially off the bounce. There's times it can be inconsistent in games, but when you take the totality and the numbers, you look at it, he can probably be around a 35, 38% three-point shooter, which is pretty good at this level. And again, I think it's a place that he can rep out again to continue to grow. But um, when you're at a place like Kentucky and you're playing amongst a lot of stars, there's got to be an unselfish piece to your game.
Yeah.
Unless you're that dude. You know what I mean? Unless you're whoever, whatever name you want to throw out there, Anthony Davis, whoever. All those guys who were even stars at that point in time still shared the ball and shared the limelight. And so he's another kid that doesn't need his number called to affect the game. And
Yeah.
so um, that's why I feel like he can fit anywhere, can fit in Kentucky, can fit in whatever list of schools he's got going. But um, he's another stud on this list of studs for the 26th class.
Right. Yeah, and when it comes to Caleb on the recruitment side, we'll go brief on that. U of H, Auburn, there's kind of those two right now. Alabama, obviously that's where he's originally from, and Kentucky's also in there. So I really kind of say those four right now. You probably say like a U of H and Auburn, probably kind of a little bit further out than those guys, but again, like you never know what could happen. I want to kind of go back. I was talking about like McCoy and Jordan Smith and their shooting, and really why I was talking about that was they're both uh have a chance to, that Duke's in the lead on both, right?
Mm,
This isn't we're not going to talk about Duke and their targets yet. We'll get there, but
yeah.
am interested to see like if you take one, do you take the other? Do you kind of figure it out? What is the game plan? I feel like they could play together just fine. But I am interested to see which one of them commit first. If one goes to Duke, does that change what the other one
Mm-hmm.
does? And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean we'll talk about that later. But I did want to kind of give that note out because I know right now, like I've heard Duke for both of those guys.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, end of the day, I think you take talent, right? So
I
Duke will
agree.
take
I agree.
Duke could take both. If they can take both, then the cool part about both those kids is they seem like really good kids. Where if they're playing with some other talented people, it really wouldn't matter to them. They're gonna find a way to win and play and contribute. And so, um, they played on USA together. I feel like USA, at least been to camps. Can't
Yeah,
remember if they played on the team together, but definitely the camps, and they've run across each other enough to have respect enough to be like, hey, we can play together. But again, who knows? Who knows?
right, absolutely. So a couple other guys. we want to talk about there's interest in Taylor Kinney. Um Taylor, I got to really see him at Adidas and 3 SSB obviously. Have a strong
Mhm.
guard. He can get to the rim, he can finish. He has a like a quality like 3-point jumper, like a dependable one. I really like Taylor Kinney. Like I liked his strength, I liked his athleticism, I liked his burst. I think there's some real upside, especially with the playmaking. Willing passer, but I definitely think he really sees it and he will take chances on passes, which I really like. And he can defend. He's a good
Yes.
defender when he really kind of locks in on that. So he fits that mold too. Uh Austin Gooseby. Uh the
Another interest.
another kid that there's interest there.
Hmm. Hmm.
6'6". He's actually had a really good first live period, and then in Kansas City, he played very well.
Yep.
6'6". It's like he's a guard, like a two. You can play him a little bit one, but more of a two guard that can really play, just knows how to play, can
Yep.
facilitate. He makes reads. He can make those cross court passes, and it's a strike. It's right to the teammate's chest. He can make open shots. Um, he can defend. He really uses his length. I don't think the kid's done growing. There's a lot of athletic background, like really good athletic bloodlines
Yep.
with
Yep.
him. Older brother plays at
Texas,
Texas.
right? Yep.
Dad played football at Florida State. By the way, the brother played. He's an offensive lineman, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Awesome.
dad played football at Florida State. So Austin Gooseby is another one that Kentucky has definitely been eyeing. That's going to be right now like BYU, Texas, as far
Yep.
as recruitment goes. Everyone kind of favors Texas, obviously, because his older brother is there. But interested to see kind of how that all pans out. I know they're going to start scheduling official visits soon. Wouldn't be surprised if Kentucky gets one.
Yeah.
Another one, Caden Samuels, like kid I really like a lot that plays for Team Takeover.
Hmm.
He's such a bucket. Like he's like a mid-range assassin sometimes. Like he plays at his own pace. Um, he really gets to his spots and scores. I really have enjoyed watching him. I liked him a lot in Arizona. I liked him
Hmm.
again in Kansas City. I see why he's kind of rising up in the rankings, and he's like some services have him as a top 10 player in that class. I do want to talk to you about though.
Who?
Davion
Yeah.
Atkins is a big.
Okay.
They've shown some interest in him. Talk about Davion and how he could potentially fit at Kentucky.
Um, I think he can fit in well, especially as so Davion's what 6'8", 6'9",
Yeah.
extremely athletic, strong. Probably he's got more to his frame to add, but strong, a vicious rim finisher and shot blocker. You feel his presence when he's doing those things really well. Runs the floor. Again, I think he's a guy for the offense that we talked about. Uh, with whatever screen, whatever actions. He's one that's diving that can provide a lot of pressure on the rim, being a lob threat, being one that you have to account for. You got to come tag. If you're not coming over to tag, that's going to be a lob and a dunk on your head. If you come over to tag, striking that thing to the corner for a corner three. And so that's how I think he helps immediately on the defensive side. I think he's got some versatility there, probably 3 to 5. I wouldn't say anything lower than that at this moment, but uh, an ability to defend bigs, um, and rim protect. He's got great instincts as far as getting off the ground, timing shots, timing block shots, and then when that board is rebounded or that shot is made on the defensive side, he is sprinting down the floor, and you got to count for him because he's extremely mobile. So those are things I think he can provide. If that's a place that he wants to go. Offensively, there's some space to him for him to continue to grow his perimeter game, his face-up game, which I think at the next level, and the coaches that are on that staff have the ability to add that to his game. But that's that'd be a dynamic piece, I think.
Yeah, I definitely like him as like a play finisher, vertical spacer. He really can just he's like says he has like freakish athletic ability,
Yeah,
right? So he can just play above the rim at ease. Offensively, he does have a good like hook shot coming off that right shoulder.
yeah, yeah.
I've seen him make some threes. You probably don't want him shooting a lot of them. I know I don't,
I wouldn't either. Yeah,
but I definitely think he can expand his game over time, and it'll be interesting to see just him going to a right situation, regards to Kentucky or whatever, that just values like development,
Yep.
and just seeing where he is over time. Defensively, I do feel like there's a lot of upside there,
Hmm.
but he needs to be more disciplined. Like you said, he could potentially guard the 3 through the 5, but he fouls a lot. He jumps on a lot of pump fakes.
Yes.
So he he kind of overcompensates being undisciplined with being just
Athleticism.
so athletic,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And once he kind of just stays disciplined, moves his feet, be vertical, have his hands up, like
Yeah.
just wall up. I think he could be a switchable defender because it's not an athletic issue. He won the DNA Olympics on that on that part, but it's just a discipline thing.
No, I agree. Staying like there's so much as when you see the flashes, you understand there's so much more he can provide to his game just on being disciplined. And that's a tough one for a lot of people in general, just in life, to just be disciplined anyway. So,
Right, right.
so
I dealt with that.
I'm
I was
not
in
gonna knock him.
Vegas. I was in Vegas. I can't say I was fully disciplined.
Hey, that's for another show, sir. That's for
Right,
another
my
show.
bad. My bad.
No. But yeah, he's got the upside and the discipline. If they can corral that, um, then I think it's a win for everybody, especially for the kid. Is there any news on where he's going, where he's playing next year, or is that out?
Davion, he's not gonna return to Faye family. Um, I'm not gonna really talk about where high schools he'll go, but just kind
It
of
just
know
won't be
that
a Fay family. Okay,
he,
I
he
kind of heard a
won't.
few of the things. I didn't.
Yeah,
Just trying to see what you heard.
yeah, no, he won't be there. But he's gonna, he's gonna he'll make a decision soon enough. And but yeah, no, for sure that's he won't be at Faith this year.
Okay.
Shout out to Faith, by the way, EYBL Scholastic deal.
Ha. Yeah,
You know,
yeah. I'll hold it
yeah,
down,
getting out of
Dallas.
UIL and then getting EYBL Scholastic deal. That's big time for them.
That's
Shout out to
big
Coach
time.
VP.
But
But Davion, when it comes to like colleges, I still think it's wide open, honestly.
yeah.
I can kind of see like a decision being made early. I can see a decision being made late. I don't really have a whole lot of where he would want to go,
Hmm.
but I do think he'll have a lot of options, and I do like Kentucky as far as like a development. Obviously, he can use athleticism early, and I think he, over time could be a valuable piece. And I think that's for any high major program. There's
Yeah.
another kid that they've actually kind of been talking to, and they've shown some interest, and that's Billy White, 6'7", out of Veterans Memorial in Corpus Christi, Texas,
Yeah. Yeah.
6'7", 6'8", and he shoots the piss out the ball. Like quick trigger, doesn't need a lot of space at all, needs minimal space, and he's gonna launch it. He's gonna make. He keeps that ball high, and then he releases it and shoots. It's really impressive to see someone at that size that really
Yeah.
shoots the basketball at that level. I think he has the ability to attack closeout and get to the midi pool. I see why Kentucky has interest there.
Yeah.
He makes a lot of sense. Another one, as well as who's been blown up, and I'm gonna talk about him more in this next segment, is Bryson Howard, son of Josh Howard. He may be the highest rising kid in
Yes.
the country right now. Like, and,
Yes.
and it's crazy. It's like it started in the May live period, like a few weeks ago. It's not like, oh, in April, he started kind of really catching fire. Like, no, this was literally like live period, like m- latter part of May. And we're talking about a kid that was not mentioned in the top 100, and now he's blowing up. So Bryson Howard, he's really making noise. He's on Kentucky's radar as well. And then the last one want to really talk about is Cole Rosario. Um, if he stays 2026, because there's rumors that he would
Mhm.
class up and go 2025, Kentucky would have interest in him. I know he plans on visiting. I think Oregon he's planning on visiting,
Yeah.
and a couple other schools. So be
I think I've
interested
seen
to see.
Baylor.
Uh-huh. It's just to see what Cole decides to do. Obviously, he goes 25. There's really no room for him. for him to go to Kentucky. But if he stays 26, there's a lot of interest there. And then
Yeah.
another one, I forgot, and I
Uh-oh.
should. It's a top 20 level player, Deron Rippey. And I know you're
Uh,
going to talk about him in Adidas Eurocamp recap. Another one that Kentucky is showing a lot of interest with.
If you haven't heard by now, we have partnered with BetMGM for the season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we'll have special offers for the listeners and the viewers. Download the BetMGM app and sign up using the bonus code FIELD. Deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you'll receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets. Go download the BetMGM app and use the code FIELD today.
yeah. Kentucky's got a myriad of talented prospects they're chasing, which is they should. They should want them all. I think that's what Pope says. Like, we want it all, whatever his quote was recently. But uh, with all that talent, you talked about Vegas earlier. You were at Pangos, right? So
Yes, I was.
what did Pangos look like for you? What the talent was? Who stood out? Give me your recap.
Yeah, Pangos, shout out to Dinos Trigonis, who's been running that camp, I think 23 or
Sir.
24 years now. As a certified
OG.
event. Yeah, it's an OG. Dinos, that's my guy. I thought it was a good camp. I thought it was good talent. Well, compared to years in the past, I think those were kind of better. I mean, my first one I ever went to was Jordan Walsh, like Keontae George. I think, oh boy, that's with the Pistons, the big,
Yeah, yeah.
like starting center for them. I'm drawing a blank, but there was a lot of pros.
Oh,
There was a lot of pros, and I'm not, obviously in this class we don't. Well, in that group, I don't know who's just a complete no-brainer pro, like, Christian Collins was there. There's some other guys that really stood out as well, and I'll talk about two specifically. But it was a good camp, good talent, a lot of top like 100 type guys. But it didn't have like the pro power it had in the past. But again, like we can 5 years, 5, 6, 7 years from now, I could be sound like an idiot because there may have been 25 pros from that camp. So
yeah,
that's just
yeah.
my initial reaction just coming out. But it's still, regardless of that, I still felt like it was a really good camp and it was a great evaluation. But two players that really stood out, and I mentioned him about Kentucky showing interest, is Bryson Howard.
Mm,
6'5", lefty. I think he's still 16. He's very young
yeah.
for for his class. I'm not too sure, but he is very young. And he's like a late bloomer like his father. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
it's kind of what we're seeing. And once it was like it's one of those I look at this that May live period because Cameron Lomax left that pro skills group, right?
mhm,
Went to Drive Nation. I think Drive Nation has been like 6-2 or 7-1 since they took Cam Lomax. So it was a great trade for them.
mhm.
Pro Skills has been above 500 and been playing very well with Bryce.
Yep, yep, yep.
But Cam helped out that Drive Nation squad with Dakari Spear, Austin Gooseby, and then Bryson got to have the team kind of centered around him. And he is showing his versatility, his ability to create a score, attack closeouts, especially like be a second side playmaker. He's athletic. Um, and at Pangos, we saw the same thing. He's playing defense. Like, shoot, he's
Yeah,
playing defense. He's
yeah,
denying like the guard trying to get the ball from the inbounder, which that's gonna bug the shit out of a kid at a camp.
yeah.
But he's active, even in situations. We talk about Caleb Holt, right? Who he doesn't need his name called to make a play. That's Bryson Howard.
Yes.
He There was a game I know he wasn't really getting the ball much, but he would get an offensive rebound and he would kind of make a standstill dunk, or he's in transition and he's finishing, or just putbacks, or getting a steal so he can grab it. Like he understands how to be effective without the ball being in his hands. Or in a camp setting, I may not get that ball thrown to me, but I'm going to go get the ball. You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
And
yeah.
that was really, really good to see. He has really put himself in the conversation as a top 25 player in the country.
Ooh, top
Um,
25. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
he put himself in that conversation. We're talking about a kid that I don't think anyone really had top. No one had top 100.
Yeah,
Prior to the spring, I don't think anybody had top 150. Maybe one. I don't know. Don't quote
yeah,
me on. But still, we're talking about a kid in
yeah,
reality that we're moving up damn near 100 spots, right?
yeah.
Like he's like, we moving him up damn near 100 spots. Obviously, he has the basketball bloodlines. He's young. I don't like he may not be done growing. I'm really interested to see what Bryson Howard looks like in the next year or two. He's really turned the corner, and
Two
um,
questions.
yeah,
Two
go ahead.
questions. Okay. If you're saying top 25,
Yeah,
does top 25 entail basically like what you've done for me this last month, 2 months, 3 months? Or is there a part of this that has longevity? So like let's say somebody who's been playing at a good level, high level, good to high level, and they're in the top 30 their entire, let's say the last 2 years in this 26 class, they get bumped because and this is more for argument's sake. Do they
yeah.
do they get
I
bumped because somebody comes out of nowhere, starts to play well, and you just reward that because dang, they are playing at a higher level than you. But I've been also doing it for a while. So
well,
what's your take?
I think when it comes to like especially the rising senior class, for me, it's production for sure. But it's is he better or not? Like, when you talk about younger classes, you're going to play more into the upside. You still
Mhm.
will play into the upside for a rising senior because they're still got to go to college, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But to me, it's when you look at what he's doing and how he's doing it and how translatable it is he better than that person? you know, that's how I look at it as far as guys that are going into their last year in high school. Yes, potential does play a factor in it. I'm not saying it doesn't, but
Look,
freshmen.
I
No, no,
agree
no,
with
no.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
freshmen. No, no, no. I don't care. You ain't gotta agree with me. I don't give a shit. Like you can say I'm
I,
a
I'm
dummy.
I'm I'm more so on the Bryson bandwagon as far as I'm not even gonna call it a bandwagon. I'm just going again. I just like winners, and the kid is a winner, and
Right.
so I got a chance to see him during the school year. So I went up to Frisco Memorial. I feel like Frisco Memorial. Went up to the school, go watch him play. He was playing with Cam, um, and everything about his game from what was it, late sometime in the fall, I think sometime again in the spring, and then two different sessions this time frame. Again, another pre-live period that the event that had in Dallas, Vaughn had War Before the Storm.
Yeah, we're first on.
Um, Extremely efficient. When he gets his touches, he's getting to it and he's making the right play. He's not wasting a move. If he's got his little dribble jab, you give him space, he's shooting it. For the fact that he shoots it at a high clip, and he's been shooting it at a high clip since I've been seeing him since the fall till now, uh, makes me believe in his jumper, right? And then so now you got the size, you got the frame, you got the bloodline, you got the fact that there's no pretty boy to his game. I'm just
Right.
I'm coming at you. I'm fine picking up full court. I'm fine distributing. I don't care about diving on his loose ball. I'm gonna go get it. And
In
so
whatever setting. Like he'll do
yes,
it in any setting. He doesn't care.
and that to me is like yes, you check all the boxes, sir. Where he is in the rankings, I'll have to go look at that.
Right.
That is
For
what it
sure.
is. But as far as a kid who deserves his praise and how well he's been playing, I'm riding that bandwagon for Bryson because uh, he's been playing his ass off, man, and the production's there. Um, the games that they lost, I think, were all pretty close, maybe 2, 3
Yeah.
possession games. So they're close enough. Sometimes that can lead to just talent, additional talent you have around you that sometimes it's hard to deal with as far as that. But um, winning games, I mean, so it takes more than just one player. But I'm with you on the Bryson bandwagon. Top 20. So does top 25 mean not guaranteed, but top 25 means it'll put you in a McDonald's discussion?
It'll put you in a discussion for sure. I mean, it's all position. It's going to be position, and
True, true.
all that, and all that's going to come to play. But you're going to be in a conversation for sure. And I think he's putting himself in a situation where if he continues to play the way he's been playing by the end of summer, I don't sound too crazy by the statement
Yeah,
that I said,
yeah,
but I do believe it's just only going to get better.
yeah,
I
yeah.
and he's gotten better since the school season. The jumper is getting better. Decision making is getting better. The handles are getting better. He's been able to tackle with his right hand better. Like
Yeah.
there's improvement, and I'm excited to see. Like you see a lot of growth in 6 months. Want to see what the
Hmm.
next 6 months look like. Want to see what the next year looks like. Recruitment. I mean, like he's getting a lot. He's gotten a lot of offers. I think
Yeah,
Indiana
yeah.
offer, Tennessee. There's rumors that he may want to stay local, but we don't know. We
No,
don't know
I've
yet.
heard it.
I think
SMU, Arizona State, a couple other. I think I see Houston recently offered. So a lot of local, obviously high level programs, but a lot of local spots for him have reached out. So again, well deserved um, to the kid.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. He deserved it. The next kid, and I've talked about this before, Quinn Costello.
Okay.
Um, 6'9", 6'10", moves well, shoots the crap out the ball. All right, plays hard.
Yeah.
That that translates anywhere in any
Yes.
basketball
Yes.
level. He's skinny, but he's gonna go to college. He's gonna probably pack 20 pounds, and then we're gonna see him be an all conference guy
Yeah.
at the high major level. He has that much upside. Another kid that not in, not someone that probably say he's the top 150 play in the country. He was camp overall MVP. By the way,
Mm.
Bryson top 30 All-Star game co-MVP with Jacob Lanier. But going back to Quinn, I just think with someone that size, that moves well, and can really shoot the three ball, there's so much value in that, and it translates. So
Mm.
Quinn, to me, obviously no brainer top 100 kid. I feel like he's pushing. If he can be this assertive, the only reason I'm not going like top 50 in the country just yet, he has the talent, but I want him to be that assertive when he's playing with Middlesex Magic. Like there was a
Yeah.
game, the first session with UAA, where I think he made like 5 or 6 threes, right?
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
really knows how to play. He moves well off the ball. He can put the ball on the floor and attack a closeout and actually get to the rim. But what I saw on Pangos, and I know it's a camp setting, people say what they want, but he was really aggressive. Like after day one, I think he was kind of like trying to feel it out. And then after that, he was just trying to dunk everything. When he caught the ball, he was ready to shoot. Like he was just so much more aggressive. And I want him to bring that to, hopefully he can do that in July. Um, for Middlesex. I think there's a lot of talent there. I think he's a top 50 talent, but he's going to have to produce more
Hmm.
for me to just kind of put that stamp. But he really was impressive. Just to see him that aggressive, to see him that physical, to see him really try to use his vertical pop more was
Yeah.
promising. So kind of want to see that some more going into the next 60 days for sure. So yeah, that's my
That's
Pango. There's a couple other guys that were impressive. Caden Daughtry, like 227 guys like Caden Daughtry.
love
He's
Kate
crafty as hell and can really score
Bucket.
the ball. He's a bucket. And another one, DeMarcus Henry,
Yeah.
227. We don't really talk about a whole lot of like 227s here, but we are going to start talking about it more and more as the summer comes along. But man, he's lefty. He's very athletic. He has long arms. He actually had a good I don't know if it was Memphis. No, he was actually good in Memphis in the live period. And I was
Hmm.
just really sincere. He has all the tools, shoot, to be a 5-star
Yeah.
prospect. Like he
Well,
has 5-star prospect tools.
okay.
Uh,
Okay. I got to check him out then. Okay.
yeah, plays for Team Why Not. Um, on the 16s, I think he has a legit shot. Um,
Nah.
could, I think he'll have a legit shot to be a 5-star kid. Just gotta keep monitoring him, see how he develops, see how he grows. But with someone with those tools that can shoot the basketball, especially as a spot up guy, he's a good driver, finisher, quick off the ground. Just a lot of upside there. So DeMarcus Henry, 227, Caden Daughtry, those guys, Reese Alston, Rayford Alston's son, also had a really good camp, made the top 30 game. He
Yep.
just like his pops. He makes daring plays, make daring
Yes.
passes.
Yes.
He makes daring he like moves, like all ball handling moves. One thing I wrote about on Ball's life is that his Euro step game is kind of crazy. He knows how to
Yeah.
evade with it, but he also knows how to bump the defender and then move him out the way and score. Like I've seen him
Yeah.
do that on a kid that's like 6'7", probably got like 20 pounds on him, but he
Yeah.
moved him out the way with his Euro step because he just knows how to keep the defender off balance. And then when they're off balance, he'll hit them. They'll move out the way and score. So I was
Crafty.
really, yeah, he's just so crafty.
So crafty. Like his
So
pops. Crafty.
yeah, like his pops, you could tell Rafer has definitely
Facts. Training
been
the
trained.
training him right. Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
Right. So, let's go on to the next segment. You watched Adidas Euro Camp. Uh,
Yep.
Want to get your
Yep.
thoughts. We talked about Caleb Holt earlier. What did you see
Yep.
from him there? And where do you feel like he's kind of separated himself from some of the other guys with this play? Or, what's your thoughts
I
there?
um from the Euro camp, I think he separated himself from the group that was there. He ended up winning the camp MVP, overall MVP of the tournament. I think multiple games of 19, 20 points, um, multiple games of 7+ rebounds. I've seen a game of 11 rebounds, um, 2 steals, 4 steals, just all over the floor. Was able to score it with his jump shot, pull up jump shot from three, mid range, attacking the paint, scored at all three levels. Is it as aesthetically pleasing as a lot of people out here with this, I'm a trainer dribble type stuff, like, whatever, teach his own. But the ball goes in the basket, right? And that's what matters. I think there's an argument for him to. I know he probably dropped on a few rankings. I don't know who does all the rankings and the criteria and stuff behind it, and it is what it is. But um, I think there's a conversation for that to rise back up because of production, right? We talked. I think you might have said earlier with the 26 class. In younger classes, you'd go more potential, right? But as they get a little bit older, you want to mix in more production. So um, him being productive here at Eurocamp, being productive at 3SSB on the circuit at a high level, leading his team in almost most statistical categories, uh, just says a lot about the kid, and then he just continues to win wherever he goes. And so I think there's a discussion when you talk about Jordan Smith, you talk about Christian Collins, you talk about Crow, you talk about whoever else is on that list after Tyron. Uh, Caleb's name should be in there, and so he showed out just as well as him. Alongside him, Deron Rippey, just a strong, athletic, powerful, bursty sort of guard. Still play, but can put it on your head if you're in the way. But was able to use his athletic tools and his body to create havoc defensively and to be able to get downhill a lot. And so he put a lot of pressure on the rim. So he was really great out there at Euro Camp. Shout out to Bo Ogden. Shot the ball lights out. He's been shooting it really well all spring as well. I've had a chance to watch him in I think 2 other sessions. Um, what is he, 6'7" ish,
Hmm.
small forward, decent build, a little bit more of an athlete than you think he is. Extremely smart and extremely efficient. Um, and especially now, this spring session and into this camp, he's been scoring it a little bit better than he has before, which is awesome to see for his game. As far as his recruitment, where he's going, I think there could be a lot of different places. I know his pops is at Texas. So I think a lot of people think that's the lead, but a kid I think that's inching up as far as production and play in that 26 class. And then I think who else was so we got
Well,
those two. What you
yeah,
got?
I want to talk about Bo. Like,
Yeah.
I remember his younger years, people just thought he was going to just be a spot up guy, right? Like just a spot up shooter, like more
Yeah.
standstill guy.
Yeah.
And I've always saw more out of him. Like, I think his drive game is not bad at all.
No.
Obviously he can attack and close out. He can get to the midi, or he can finish like a floater. Sometimes he get too deep, but when he gets too deep into the paint, he knows what pass to make, or he has some craft and finesse with his
Yep.
finish.
Yep.
Bo has more to his game than just being a standstill shooter. And I remember I was getting
Yes.
asked that when he was 15, 16, and I felt like there was just more to his game than that. So glad to see that he's showing it more,
Yep.
right? And his production is just kind of taking another uptick.
And to your point, the other part about again, he's smart as a high IQ kid, so he knows if there's a mismatch. I've seen him take advantage of mismatches, and so if he's on the perimeter and he's got a small on him, boom, he dives straight to the basket, turns, seals, and he calls for the ball. And so um, those are the plays that as a coach you love to see because I didn't have to just tell him what to do. He knew what to do because he saw it and exploited it. And so that's the IQ piece that I like and appreciate about his game is that and he just finds different ways a rebounder. You know what I mean? Again, does different things for you. Is the ceiling crazy? Some people would argue no, but the production is there, and so that's shout out to Bo, working on his game and just continue to show he can play at a high level. So,
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we're gonna end it. We're gonna talk about USA basketball.
ah,
Um,
yes,
They are winning games by 50 or 60 points. So, I mean, we don't have to do a deep
not
dive out here. Like,
not too much to talk about, man. Not
right,
too much.
but I will say this before I let you get to it. It looks like it's going to be a them in Canada. Um,
Yeah,
I'm interested to see from Canada Isaiah Hamilton, who's been
yep,
putting up monster numbers. He's a 228. Again, we're not going to talk a lot about 228s in this pod, but
yeah,
I definitely think this kid has those it tools. But I'm excited to see when USA and Canada. Hopefully, we see that matchup over there.
yeah.
That's going to be exciting to watch. But go ahead, Shu.
No, you're right, and I'm not mad. I'd love to talk about the younger classes. I love the 27s and 28s, but again, that's for another space. But these are young kids. These are predominantly 27s, 28s right here. This class, that's the age group that they have to fall into. But the USA team, I don't know if I read it right. It was either they're 45 and 0 or 54 and 0. Their last all their last 16 U games. They've gone on such a dominance of a streak of just dominating, the rest of the world at this age level. And so it's the sheer athleticism, it's the size, it's the just the constant wave. And so when you can look at a 16U team, you could probably look at 16U teams in the past and look on the bench, and you're gonna see guys who probably played professionally. You know
Right.
what I mean? And so it's just waves. So the first wave that comes in, you got uh, Beckham Black, Jordan Page, C.J. Rosser, Marcus Spears Jr. or Dan Pierre Jr. You know what I mean? And so then you bring in the Marcus Spears Jr. Then you bring in whoever it is else coming off the bench that uh, they just hit you one after the other. So C.J. Rosser was a standout. I want to say even the first game he had a 9-0 run by himself, splashed multiple threes. He's what people would say what they look like for a future prospect. Um, Probably all of 6'8", 6'9", thin frame, but obviously a body that can build out. Smooth stroke, long arms, big feet. You just know he's going to continue to grow and develop. Um, you got Jordan Page, which is this multi-tooled wing slash forward that does a little bit of everything, puts a lot of pressure on the ball. I think a lot of times he played at the front of the press and just hounded whoever the first pass went to. Same thing with Nasir Anderson. Nasir Anderson is the nephew of Josh Smith, NBA longtime vet. Um, he had a dunk, kind of wiggled through full court, got through the press, and just it looked like Josh. Lefty, cocked it back, all power. It was like, damn, like they're just loaded. Marcus Spears Jr. all over the court, defensively, multiple games with multiple blocks. Beckham Black is the ultimate table setter for what you want old school PGs to look like, um, making his teammates better, set them up, making their looks easier and shots better, taking care of the ball, high IQ team captain. Um, I can go the list on, but we don't have to go. They're winning by 50. But all to
Yeah.
say, the youngins are on the way. They're up next, and they got a lot of talent. So
Yeah, I want people that are listening, that 228 class is going to be really good. Um, nationally, there's just a lot of depth there. 27 is pretty damn good too. So
yes,
there's that underclassmen group, like there's a lot of depth. It's going to be exciting to kind of see them grow. That 228, I think, has a chance to, be kind of special, to be honest
yep,
with you. So, yeah, just for anyone that's not familiar with those classes, 227 and 228 are projected to be better than 226 right now. So, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, like, that's the forecast right now.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
Shu, another episode. I think we were supposed to make this 30 minutes. We went over 30 minutes. We have a lot to
Man,
talk about. I don't think we'll ever have a 30-minute pod, so I apologize for
probably
that.
not.
For anybody that likes to listen to us ramble, I appreciate you guys. Anyone that stayed through the whole time,
Yeah,
I'm appreciative. Anyone that just listened, even if it's 10 seconds, thank you for even tuning in. But
appreciate
this
you.